Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Saturday. Welcome back to another Diorama Talk. As usual, I'm fidgeting with my mic right as we start, so at least something is consistent here. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Tonight's guest is Adam Van Wickler, playing with myself. So tonight's guest is playing with myself. But before we get started, let's talk about some channel updates. We are quickly approaching the 2 stretch goals that I put out at the beginning of the season. One is the 750 subscriber stretch goal for that box of awesome tools that me and 796 put together for one lucky subscriber. And then also closely meeting up on that 1,000 subscriber stretch goal of a Ender Creality 3 printer, brand new in the box. So we're about 450, we're getting close to it. So keep, promoting the channel if you can, like, subscribe, do all those things, help get those numbers up to support these artists each week. And with that, I don't think I have anything else. Giveaways. I do apologize, guys. I know you probably see in the news the prices of shipping and all that stuff, and USPS are changing the rules, regulations to longer ship, more prices. So I do apologize about shipping. Shipping is probably going to take longer in the future, but all stuff has shipped. I'm looking over to check, except for Billy Moon's. Billy Moon, yours has not shipped. I'm packing something extra special in yours, and I'll go ahead and show you. Billy is a subscriber over on Patreon, and he supports the channel, the HSC channel over on Patreon, which comes back to this YouTube channel. All that comes back here and helps with the YouTube channel. So once a year, I send out one of these to the tier that Billy's on. So I'm just going to send this out to Billy along with that action figure. Billy, sorry, I'll get this out hopefully Monday. And with that, guys, let's get Adam in here. This is why everybody's here. Let's go ahead and just look at. Let's get Adam here. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Adam has graciously, obviously, agreed to come onto the channel. So let me give him a good intro. So tonight's guest, guys, is a toy amigo. He is Adam Van Wickler. He is a toy collector, a kit basher, a toy photographer, a deep V-wear, and the shortest guy in Wade. Welcome, Adam, playing with myself. Yo, what's up, dude?
What's up? I just ran and grabbed sunglasses because I didn't want to be not as cool as you. I don't know if you saw, like, if you were worried for a second, because I disappeared to run and go grab sunglasses.
That's why it took me so long. I saw Adam was gone, and I was like, okay, I gotta run interference here. Keep talking.
That's why the intro had to be a little bit longer. Like that.
What's up, dude? Thank you for coming. I know this week for you is a lot of travel, so I do appreciate you taking the time, especially on a Saturday, away from your family, to come hang out with me and everybody in the live chat on Diorama Talk. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me, man. It's very, very kind.
Absolutely. So let's get into it, Adam. And before we do, for those that may not know Adam, which is probably very few of these guys, give us the 30-second elevator pitch of who Adam Van Wickler is.
So my name is Adam Van Wickler. My username on Instagram and Facebook and stuff is playing with myself, because I think I'm super clever and I like to post pictures of stuff that we work on at Gentle Giant Studios. So I'm the director of creative services, which is a weird way of just saying creative director, at Gentle Giant Studios. And basically we make stuff for people. Mostly toy prototypes, but sometimes we dip into other things that I can show you guys if you ever come on a tour of Gentle Giant, but it is not always strictly toy and action figure related. There's like one person that probably gets that joke, but we can move right on. And most of the stuff that everyone's interested in is we do a lot of work for Mattel and Hasbro and Diamond and Dark Horse and you name it. Like basically companies come to us and hire us to create their prototypes. So we do digital sculpting, 3D printing, silicone mold making, resin castings, and we also do full paint services in-house. We have a team of talented painters, so we'll do paint masters as well with Pantone color callouts, whatever anyone needs for their, or decals, whatever you need for your factory to then do mass market painting from.
That
beyond
sounds like a great place to be.
I almost didn't say the most important stuff. I'm also a Toy Migo, guys. Like, that's it. So you may know me from such shows as Toy Migos, and then occasionally I make appearances on every other podcast that's out there.
There you go. Dude, so Gentle Giant sounds like my kind of playground. If I ever make it out that way, I'm definitely gonna hound you for a tour. I think I've already said that once to you.
Cool. You dig it, because like that's the thing. Like, you know, if you've ever seen that meme where it's like basically an iceberg and like the water and the water level, it's just the tip of the iceberg that's showing, and then and the meme itself is like your work, and then the top is the work everyone sees. So it's like, it's very true at a place like Gentle Giant, where the work that everyone sees, that everyone knows about, is just a small like piece of what we do all the time. There's a ton of like large scale pieces in the studio itself. There's a life-size Jabba the Hutt that used to be brought to Star Wars Celebration and San Diego Comic-Con. We used to, like, before, like back when the world was still open and people were going to conventions and stuff, around Comic-Con time, there's certain members of the cosplay community would bring a whole bunch of slave Leias over to the studio to do photo shoots on our Jabba the Hutt. And those are the days that no one got any work done, that everyone always has to go get a glass of water from the kitchen or go to the restroom like 20 times in a row. So yeah, that day, sorry Hasbro and Mattel, no one ever got any work done on that day.
All right. Yeah, those are fun stories. I know you got more of those stories, but before we do that, let's give some love to the chat. Give praise to those people that came out to hang out with us tonight. So Lucky Butters, first in the house. Pew pew. What's going on? Adam Van Wickler's here tonight, guys. Thomas Brock, Loki, Star Marvel. What's going on? High School Creations. Toy Malarkey, what is up? The Chamba, Plastiatico, what's going on? Berserk, what's up? Thanks for joining. 796 Studios, yo, what's up, fellow enabler? The Toy Box of Doom, hey, happy Saturday. Toying around, what's up, Kev? How's that fingernail? KJ Smith, what's up? Chad Kinsler, how you doing, sir? Let's see who else we got. Detour, what's up, my fellow and that guy Customs? They have joined me in the weight loss challenge. We're all keeping each other straight, trying to live a healthier life. Thank you, guys. Same with Star Marvel. Doombot 9000, what's going on? I'm not going to talk about the DMC, but the DMC is here. I think he left. Darth Clueless, what's up, dude? What's up? NYC Figure Fanatic, what's going on? Rick Jones in the house. And the Figure Report, what's up, Mikey? What's up? Are you back in our time yet? Can't wait.
World travel.
Cool, guys. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for joining me and Adam tonight. It's always fun to have you here. That's one of the main reasons I love doing a live is, interacting with you guys as well. So thank you very much. We do have a giveaway tonight. And as usual, for this season, it is going to be on the guest to give away the figure tonight. And tonight we have is it Mayonnaise Snake Eyes? Help me out here, guys. What is
Mayonnaise Storm Shadow? But yes.
Oh yeah, Snake Eyes.
Old Mayonnaise Storm Shadow.
I'm stage fright. I got a celebrity here tonight. Yeah. Storm Shadow, who actually apparently is the good guy, or people can make a claim he's the good guy in the latest movie.
No doubt. Like, you and I were just kind of talking about this before we popped on. Like, I thought that Storm Shadow was one of the decent parts of that movie. I thought they actually treated him really well, and like he was the main protagonist, and like he was right the whole time. You're watching him and you're just like, that dude has a point. Like, he has a point. You'll have to see.
I've not seen the movie. Those are just the comments I've heard. I probably watch it when it's like free on demand or YouTube, no commercials kind of thing. Just kidding.
It's a good figure too. I have both that and the Snake Eyes movie figure, and I like both of them. So I'm happy to be involved in the Rigaway, and everyone that may see me on podcasts in the past knows that I love me a good bribe. I'm just kidding. Kind of.
PayPal is in the description below. Cool. All right. Yeah, I've been a giveaway as usual. We'll do that toward the end of the night, right after the IG questions. So we do have some IG questions. I put a poll out, or question, whatever it's called, on Instagram for some questions for Adam. So we'll do those towards the end of the night. But until then, it's just me and Adam going to chop it up over some coffee.
Is that what we're supposed to be drinking? Whoops.
Oh, that's what I'm drinking. What are you drinking?
Stronger.
Man, this will be the first live I've not had like a beverage that's not a coffee.
Good for you.
Wade talked me out of drinking Red Bull like 3 weeks ago, so I've been Red Bull free. Although we're out of coffee more often now than we used to be. But
I only drink coffee in the morning because I don't want to be pooping all day long. This is what kind of show it's going to be tonight, by the way, guys.
I mean, I'm trying to lose weight. So I put out there, no one wanted to do a buy-in of $25. So I ended up putting up the Peter B. Parker, which is a befitting kind of giveaway for a weight loss challenge. So I don't want to lose that fig. So I'm trying to make sure, whether I'm sweating it out or pooping it out, I'm going to be dropping that weight.
It's good. We should all take care of ourselves. I recently have tried to start I think a week and a half ago, I was like, I have a exercise bicycle that basically is like a coat rack of sorts. It doesn't function as an actual exercise bike, even though it does actually function. But I just started to try to get back on it, and I was like, one of these days the pandemic is probably going to end, and I'm going to need to go outside and be around other human beings. So yeah. The fluffy body is going to have to change at some point.
Yeah, the thing for me is I've been wearing swimming suit shorts and gym shorts, and then I try to put on some regular shorts 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm like, this is the problem. I can't go to work at the office like this. So I'm not buying new clothes. So but yeah, seriously though, it is to get healthier, coming up on 40 for me, and I kind of want to be healthy at 40. So we'll see.
That's good. I will be 43 the day after Halloween. November 1st is my birthday. Big old Congrats. 43. Old.
I when I was younger and 15, 16, people would say an age 40, 50. I was like, oh, that's old. Now that I'm getting there though, and I'm seeing my parents, I'm like, why did I think that was so old before? Because they're still out doing stuff at 60. They're out there, still clubbing. My dad just got back from Alaska cruise during a pandemic. He's doing crazy stuff. So that's I'm like, awesome. I can do that.
That's also that's the thing. That's a very good, healthy outlook. That it's mine instead is I sit there and I'm like, holy shit. There's no way that no one has their life figured out. It's all we all thought that our parents knew what was up, and it's no way, no one does. Everyone's all just you're just skating by and figuring it out as it goes, right? Is that I try to plan and I try to do things, but it's nope, you're just making it up as you go along.
Yeah, it's like a foggy path. You can see a little bit in front of your nose, enough to know you're not going to step in a hole, but you don't really know where it's going. Right.
Oh, Loki and I have the same birthday.
Oh,
that's awesome.
We're going to have a twins party.
He made the art for the Wade live stream last night, of which I missed because I was on an airplane. But hey, and Rick is here too. What's up, Rick?
Wood.
Loki's artwork was great, though. It was the Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie Boogie's crew, and it was the three of us. I love that.
Loki put that together, right?
Yeah,
that's dope. I'm not creative enough to come up with something like that. I can I could see something and like remake it. That's why I like making buildings and stuff like that and like movie scenes, but I couldn't come up with something on my own.
I went to art school, but that was like 20 years ago, and I haven't really I don't flex like that muscle ever. I use like my main thing with giving feedback and everything is I use Photoshop a lot. So like I do overlays but basically like I'm using like liquify and paintbrushes and erasers and just drawing like stuff over existing stuff. So it's like I don't really feel like I have any artistic talent anymore. And that's why occasionally I'll like, I'm going to finish a custom. And it's like always the easiest custom in the universe. It's never anything that's like, because like if I have anything that's going to take me like days, not going to happen. I'll get like 50% of the way there, and then it'll go in a bin and it'll live in the shame. What's his name? Sid from Toy Story, the kid that like has all the terrible broken toys. I have those everywhere.
And then you're blowing them up in the backyard?
I only occasionally.
Yo, El Chombo, what's up? Prime to the first. What's up? Oh, Prime's got beef? Is that what you said?
You got the whole Enabler crew in here. I got beef with the whole Enabler crew, especially Prime and 796 Makeup Studios, because they're all like super hot into Acid Rain now. And I'm like, yeah, guys, welcome to like 8 years ago. Come on. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm not jumping down that rabbit hole. 18 scale, I don't know if it's for me.
I mean, I have beef with you too, Mike, because I want a custom. I want my own knife. I don't know what I want on it. Like maybe a hot dog or something. No.
Oh, I thought we had beef, so I was out of here.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were leaving. I was going to take over the show. I was like, all right.
It's your show tonight. Yeah, the Enabler's knife. Oh, there's not enough light. Sorry, guys.
Those are dope.
Yeah, I'll make anything. Just let me know what you want.
Maybe a hot dog. I'll have to see if there's anything more clever than that, though.
A hot dog's pretty genius on a blade. It's your hot dog cutter.
Yeah. For sticking wieners. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I mean, sticking them, cutting them, whatever you want to do with them, holding them up. Roasting them.
We're only 20 minutes in, folks.
Yeah, I'm like a kid with scissors, I think, toying around, and Kevin was telling me this, that I mean, I'll go out and I'll cut anything for the first time, and if it's cool to cut, I'll cut it again.
I dig it. You've got so many cool toys too. I love when you posted, we were just talking about you and your son building the Eiffel Tower. It's like whenever I see that behind the scenes stuff, that's my favorite, man. Cause like, I'm like a nerd for that. Like we have a lot of toys at work too. So I love seeing other people's toys. And by toys, I mean tools.
Yeah, I love tools. I'm a tool guy. I mean, I still can do stuff by hand. I tried to flex that a little bit with a recent project by hand cutting some bricks, because I get a lot of shit for having tools. I do not cut my foam with tools, guys. I manipulate foam sometimes, but mostly it's wood and other products. Foam I still cut by hand. So anyway, move off of that topic. I'm kind of sore, DMC. But yeah, I am a tool guy. I like using tools. I think, if I build something one time by my hand, like for example, those fire escapes, right? I built it, I tried foam the first time and I was like, there's no way that's going to hold a damn figure. So then I tried stick building. Then I used a drill press to make better rungs in the ladders. And then once I got the laser, I was like, well, I can definitely repeat this and make it look legit. So, every time I'm just trying to make it look better, right? Make it more and more scale, make it look like it's true to, that scene. So I think what I'm trying to say here, long-winded, is I just like keep advancing. Every time I build something, how can I make it better the next time? And if there's a tool that can do it, I'm going to go research it and figure out how I use that tool to do it.
don't let anyone give you crap for that. That's the way it should be done. I mean, like, honestly, here you go. Gentle Giant was exactly like that as well. Like, I think that a lot of people, they were the before I even started there. I've been there as of October 10th. I think that is my 15-year mark that I will have been working at Gentle Giant Studios. But I knew about Gentle Giant before I even started there, and they were known for going out and doing head scans and everything. And there were so many people within the toy industry that thought of that as cheating. They were like, you're scanning the actors, like that's it. Like, you're totally cheating. You're not even sculpting stuff anymore. And that's still not true, even to this day, with like the way we can capture data now with like photogrammetry and everything is totally a different technology than it was back then. And it's all improving and getting better. But no matter what, you still have to bring that into your 3D sculpting program, whether that's ZBrush or anything else that you're using. And you have to breathe life into it. You have to do things like you have to change, you have to give expression, you have to sculpt the hair. There's so much detail work that needs to be done. And it's like, it's just another tool. It's a good tool for your toolbox, because what it's doing is it's capturing the geometry of like a person or even a prop, or, you know, like we're on set scanning cars and spaceships too, but you capture that geometry, but it's not done with a scan. Like, someone still needs to work on that scan, and that person is still an artist. So it's all bullshit if people are giving you any kind of a hard time about what tools you're using. It's like, you know, go buy your own tools then.
Yeah, I think the misconception is like, you get this tool, the tool does everything for you and then just poops the product out. There is a learning curve. Button. Right.
Everyone thinks it's a magic, like, that's it, done. We get a lot of phone calls of like, I want to make an action figure. And I'm just like, oh, here we go again. It's going to be fun to explain the process.
But I mean, it all depends on what your company goal is. But if you want to stay relevant and mainstream and have the highest end product, right, you're going to have to adopt some of these new practices, right? You got to change with the times to stay on top, or, just, stay within your mission as a company. And then for me, I'm not a company, but I have a mission, and I want to build very detailed dioramas, and that's how I do that, right? I could handcraft it, but then I'm going to take, 3-4 times as long to do something. Now, I have experience doing it, but I want to take that to the next level and offer it to others if I can too. So anyway, enough about me.
It's legit. This is Diorama Talk. This isn't like playing with myself talk. It's cool.
So now that you say that, does Gentle Giant do anything with displays or dioramas?
So we have dabbled with that because we have a convention presence so often. I mean, in the past we have. So like there is like some cool stuff. Like I don't know if anyone remembers these, but we did action figures. Like Gentle Giant Ltd did action figures with the Gentle Giant name brand on it for the animated Hellboy cartoon. So this would have been like 12 years ago. It was early on when I was at Gentle Giant, but the super articulated versions of both Hellboy and Abe Sapien, and it was based on the animated style look, which was the artist, I believe, Sean Galloway. Cheeks is his name. Awesome artist, but they did animated movies. I think there were at least 2 animated movies, and we did action figures, like super articulated ones. And we had a display for Comic-Con that was a big Hellboy Right Hand of Doom, but it was the actual arm portion was all opened up, and it was all like a carved foam display. Like the whole hand was none of this was digitally scanned or 3D printed. It was foam. So like that's that's what we do, a lot of the same process that a lot of the dio builders and stuff are doing as well. So the Job of the Hut that I mentioned is actually all carved out of foam and then resin coated. So cool. Like it was CNC'd based off of a data set, but when you CNC foam, especially at something of that size, like all of that detail has to be redone by hand. It's just giving you the mass. So you have
the shape, right?
Shape.
Yeah. it's similar to like ZBrush or even molding, right? When you take that rake just to get your shaping, right? And then you got to go back in and do the fine details. Yeah, there's still work to be done. Yeah, that's cool. That's kind of stuff I really want to get into. And I've dabbled a little bit as like mold making and making other, actually what got me into dioramas was like making props and helmets from foam originally, like, like sheet foam that you get from like the hobby store or something.
Yeah.
And then I just started dabbling, and one day I saw some photos with toys, and I was like, I have toys. I have a camera. Man, that makes sense. Let me try that. Then I realized I was missing dioramas, and I was like, well, I think I can do that. And I tried a little bit, and I was like, oh, that looks decent. So ever since then, it's like, oh, how can I do it better the next time or the next time? But yeah.
If so you don't do much silicone mold making or anything like that yet?
I do. I'm getting into it because it's expensive, right? So I'm starting small to understand it, and then each time trying to make it a little bit bigger as I do, because I don't want to spend a lot of money up front. Like a couple gallons of silicone is going to be $300 or $400, right?
Yep.
And you can blow through that quick if you do some bad molds on some big stuff.
That's my background. Like my first toy job was I was working in a small toy studio in Hoboken, New Jersey, making silicone molds, doing resin castings, and cleaning up the resin castings. Like that's how I got my foot in the door in the toy industry, was doing exactly that, which is funny because Renee and Beardy, two of the guys that work with me at Gentle Giant, and then that also are working on Mortal Ruin with me, that's what they started with too. It's like the gateway drug into the toy industry is silicone mold making, resin casting. So like it's cool stuff. I want to hear some of your what are you doing? How are you creating your walls and everything? How are you doing your boxes? Are you doing one-piece molds?
So yeah, everything right now is one-piece molds. I do want to try some cut molds and then probably two-piece molds. I guess it's two-piece, wherever you sandwich the two. And I also want to do rotary casting. Me and 796 have been talking about that. And there's a guy, I failed to remember his name on YouTube, but I watch him religiously trying to figure out what he's doing. But he's making his own like rotary, thing for casting. But everything's been one-piece molds up to this point. I do the dumpsters that way because I can just pull that out. These were, one-piece molds.
And fast. Yep.
Right. And that's easy to do with flat, square objects. As I scale up and want to do something with a little more geometry or something, that's where it's going to come into like probably two-piece or split molds. But diorama pieces, especially like city pieces, is really easy once you understand the mechanics. You understand how to limit the number of air bubbles. I do want to get some sort of vacuum sealer so I can get those bubbles out, which makes it less complicated. But each time I'm going to level up. So this is probably the third or fourth biggest thing I've casted. And so this is my first diorama piece, single figure diorama. It's two pieces made from foam and then casted. And then I'm throwing in some laser cut windows and some things like that in there. I was just using the AB 1:1 ratio stuff to make the mold. And then, the 2.5 minute wait time resin.
Smooth on, or you
Smooth on is what I started with. Now I'm using platinum something. I can get it on Amazon a lot cheaper, more quantity, so I can get it by the gallon. But it's real easy stuff, obviously wear your gloves and stuff, but I'm not too deep into it, but I'm enough to like get what I want out of it right now. Instead of stick building, those dumpsters, I can just pour them, and I don't know how many pulls I get out of that mold. If I'd made a two-piece mold, it maybe would last longer, but I've gotten about 30 pulls out of it. Probably will get another 10 to 20, and so that's pretty awesome. I don't have to stick build those anymore. We'll recast when I have to.
The vast majority of our stuff would always be one piece, just cut molds, because we're only pouring like 2 or 3 copies of stuff. It's like we weren't doing when we do runs. If we're doing like a small run of like maquettes for someone or something, that's when we go for a more complicated mold. But for the most part, it's like there's nothing beats like we would do stuff like that as cornball as possible. We'll take like plastic cups and you cut the top off. You post your part on a piece of like foam core, with little sprues everywhere that you like the high points. You hot glue that down to the foam core. you take a plastic cup, hot glue that around it, and pour silicone right over it. Like, we were trying to do stuff just as quick as humanly possible. So it's like, I think a lot of the guys that are doing it in the custom community and everything are actually doing nicer mold making jobs than what the professionals do, because we're trying to do it just like quick and dirty. And like a lot of these guys were like doing really nice work. So it's like, it's just awesome to me to see it. Like, it's like, see the passion and the love go into it. Like, yeah.
Plaster is cheaper than silicone. I don't think plaster has flexibility, right? Does it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on what you're molding.
Molds, yeah. It's like, that's different. There's they use plaster a lot in visual, like special effects stuff. Special effects makeup.
That makes sense.
Like,
because they're pouring latex and stuff probably into those molds, right? But yeah, so building the molds is simple, right? I just take like the Dollar Tree foam core. I just make enough that I need. I take some rice to measure out how much, stuff I need to pour in. And yeah, my wife one day was like, "Hey, have you seen the big old bag of rice?" And I was like, "This rice? Like, it's mine now." Dude, that's like when I moved.
I never even thought about that. We would just like, that's where I would get in trouble. Is like, I remember there's so many stories where we'd be like, this is a big mold, so we're just eyeballing it, and we just mix up, and like, big old like drill with a spinner on it to mix up a giant thing of silicone, and we would pour the molds for work, and then we'd have like a half of a bucket worth of silicone, which like, that's like $100, if not more. So we would end up going around the studio, and it's just like, hey, you guys got anything you want mold up really quick? Because we got silicone that we got to use so that it's going to kick. So like, we would figure out all sorts of things to do with the extra silicone, because we weren't as smart as you with measuring out the rice. We actually had molds that we would pour where they would be just like circles with like little holes in them, because we would use that for super glue. So like, when you're like working on resin castings and stuff, sometimes like squirting out super glue is just a pain in the balls. So what we would have like a little silicone cup that we would make that you put super glue in, and then you can use like little tools like toothpicks or something to apply the super glue. Yeah. And it's just, there's a little vat of super glue that's just hanging out on your desk all day that you hope doesn't spill and that no one like touches.
Yeah, I have the same challenge. I use a lot of super glue actually, and I will just like squirt it on to like a piece of whatever's laying on the bench, wood foam, and then use one of those just the glue brushes. They're throwaway basically, because once you get super glue on, it's done anyway, right? But yeah, I know those challenges. But yeah, that's a lot of waste you got to take care of. And that's why I did the rice, right? Because I can't spend a whole lot, right? I may sell a few things on the side, but that's not my main thing. I'm not out here selling a bunch of things. I'm not, marketing these things. I sell them if people want them. So I don't want to waste my money. So I have to measure everything, or it eats me in the end, right? So I'm very precise. I even write on the molds how much it is when I pour resin, like on the dumpster. I know it's 8 ounces, and that's it. That tops it off. These new ones are like 12 each pour, so that I know how much I need and when I need to re-up. But that's because I have to, right? I have to work on a budget until I make that big sale, and then I think I've won the lottery or something. But yeah, that's the only reason I do it, because I have to. If I was working for a studio, I may not be that sort of practice. But now that I've gone through, the learning curve of, this, maybe I've instilled it, but, it is what it is. It's still fun though, dude. It sounds like you had an awesome time working there. I wish I could do that stuff like full time, because like my brain is always racing. Like I'll go down the road and I'll see some unique structure or a building. Like, man, I want to make that. I wish I had a couple days to just make that McDonald's. Like I would love to make a diorama of a McDonald's. Like I used to love McDonald's, still do.
You heard it here, folks. Whoever wants to hire Mike, he wants to make it Mickey D's.
But even locally, I live in Charleston, South Carolina. Downtown Charleston is one of the oldest cities in America. I've never gotten down there to make I'd love to make some dioramas of some of that unique structure before it's wiped off the face of the earth by another hurricane or earthquake or whatever, And
my lady's family is all from Charleston, South Carolina. So if we ever go out to visit them, guess who's going to come pay you a visit? I'm
all right,
threatening right
I'll
now.
hold you to it.
I'm
If
gonna
I see a
come play with
tag
your
one day and
toys.
you're in Charleston, I better see you.
Damn straight. We'll make it happen.
But yeah, so me and Mario talk about this a lot, and you know, I'll go down the road and see things, and I'll start like building in my brain like how I would start building that just based on the tools I have in the shop. And if I can't do it with what I have, I just don't think about it anymore. I'm like, well, I can't do that. So, but it's weird, like the mind of like a builder. I'm sure there's things you think about like that, like your kit bashes.
Stupid stuff all the time. But I love your rice thing. Like that's the coolest idea that I never really thought of. We were just like, it's not our money, and we just dump silicone.
Well, I tried water, and that didn't work out too well.
We have to unlist this live stream now.
That's all right. I won't be the first one.
Luckily, I'm not pouring silicone anymore, so I don't. It's other people.
The other guy back there's like, oh shit, better find some rice.
Exactly.
Next week there's like a 5-pound
like
bag
writing
of rice.
it down, notes. Get rice.
I like it because it's dry. It's not going to put any moisture on the silicone or anything like that. Because I also use baby powder, right, to wick in, you know, the resin. Because I was casting heads. That was the first thing I did was I casted this like custom venom head that I did for the monster venom, where you know it came with the open mouth. All I did was cut it, glued it, and then molded some teeth on and did like the molding silicone. Yeah. It should have been a 2-part. It would have lasted longer, but I was using baby powder to, you know, wick all that resin into those teeth designs, because if not, it was mangled, right? You get a bunch of air bubbles and stuff like that. So
that's you may like. I know you said a vacuum chamber, but just a pressure pot too. Like you in a perfect world, you have both. You do the vacuum for your silicone before you pour the silicone, and then once you pour the resin into the silicone molds, you put that into a pressure pot. So you just get the air pressure up, and that makes like you'll get beautiful castings that way.
Oh, that would be better, because then you know because you can still get air when you're pouring, right? So
right,
yeah,
that's what like it's like that. The pressure pot is what like gets your resin castings like,
right
primo. So and that's like it's not there. You can make like if you look. I'm sure there's stuff online. If not, like I can tell people, but there's cheap ways to do it. And basically you get paint pots, you know, like for pressurized, like painting your house or something. So you can get them in all different sizes, like whatever size you want based on what size molds you have. Like we have a ton of different sizes just at General Giant, you know, we have giant ones for huge molds, and then we have smaller, like, you know, I had 20-gallon or something like that for the regular, the action figure size molds. And basically you don't want to be always putting because they're giant metal pots with big metal screws to hold down the top, and then you're putting pressurized air on there, and you don't want to blow the top off. So like the idea is that you know like you don't want to overkill. So the smaller the paint pot for the smaller molds, the better. And you can do it pretty cheap. Probably just use compressor too. Like
yeah.
So
yeah. I'm thinking about it now. And what's cool also with the pressure pot, it was actually push into all those details too, if I'm not mistaken, right? So you don't have to worry about, you know, any, you know, spacing or anything.
The only thing you have to worry about with a pressure pot is if your silicone mold has air bubbles in it, the pressure of the air pressure in the pressure pot can make your silicone mold collapse in certain areas, because if that has air in it. So that's why like that's the perfect world is like your silicone, you vacuum the silicone before you pour it. So that way it has as little air bubbles in it as possible. But you can get around that with like, you know, the slow, steady stream pour with silicone, like, you know, drizzling it in and then moving stuff around. So that way you're making sure everything's coated and that there's no air trapped. But it is just one of the danger things. As soon as you put something in the pressure pot, if there's air trapped in silicone, that will compress, and then you'll get a resin casting that's all deformed. This is all I'm speaking because this has all happened to us before.
This is experience.
Many times.
Yeah, so that's true. And a lot of the, over the counter, like cheap silicones have a high viscosity, so you don't trap as much air. But yeah, I would be wary about that because I'm sure I have air bubbles in a lot of my molds. But that's awesome. I want to check that out. Thanks, Adam. There we go. We've been talking a lot about what's going on around me and then how that relates to you. But let's go deeper. Let's talk about Adam
I
before
love going
Gentle
deeper.
Giant. Like what you were doing before, like what got you into, the industry? Like what was the catalyst?
I was lucky enough that I actually got my first toy job pretty much straight out of college. So I went to FIT. This is like, trust everyone that like knows me is gonna have a freaking, they're gonna love this. So I went to an art school in New York. There are lots of art schools in New York, lots that I wanted to go to. I'm much to like everyone probably thinks otherwise, but I am not super loaded. I'm not super well off. I do okay. My family does okay. So I was not able to go to any of the like fancy art schools. Instead, I went to a state art school, which is FIT, which is the Fashion Institute of Technology. So yes, it has fashion in the name, but it is also a regular art school. It's not just fashion, although there's a lot of fashion stuff there. So let the jokes about V-necks and fashion commence. Like Plasty's probably already like noting the timestamp so he can make tips in the future. But yes, I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology, which is an art school. I graduated in 2001, and I got my first. So that was in like June or whatever, 2001. And I was lucky enough to get my first job at a small toy studio in Hoboken, New Jersey, in the fall of 2001, right before 9/11. Actually, like I remember, like because Hoboken is directly across the water from. Basically, it's a perfect viewpoint for that. So that was big crazy times. But I worked there in making silicone molds, doing resin castings. Ended up moving to Florida for a little while to work for CrossGen Comics, which was a comic book company that I guess pilfered a lot of Marvel and DC talent, which is cool because I got to meet a lot of really, really cool, super talented people that are like famous now, like crazy good artists and writers that absolutely do not remember me at all because I was probably like the little wise ass kid with frosted tips, spiky hair, frosted tips, little punk with face piercings. So yeah, they definitely don't remember me, but I worked there for about a year and then CrossGen went belly up. It was a dream that couldn't last. So I moved back to New York. I worked at an advertising agency for a hot second because that's actually what I went to art school for, was for advertising and graphic design. I also took sculpting classes and fine arts classes and photography classes because that's what you do at an art school. But my focus was advertising and graphic design. So worked at ad agency, and then I moved out to California to work at Soda Toys. So they're the ones that did the Street Fighter action figures now playing. Jerry Macaluso, awesome dude. He basically kind of cherry picked me. I think I met him I was still in New York at the ad agency, and I met him at New York Toy Fair because I would always figure out a way to scoot in to New York Toy Fair despite not being still in the industry. Just knowing people. I drink and I know people. So I met him, and then he basically was like, hey, would you move out to California and come work for me? And I was like, hells yeah. Like, are you kidding me? I love toys. So I moved out to California in 2005, worked at Soda for about a year, and then Jerry sold it. So I immediately, there was a job opening at Gentle Giant Studios. So I just hightailed it over to Gentle Giant. Soda did stick around for a little while after that. And I then basically pilfered all the talent from Soda, and they all pretty much worked at Gentle Giant afterwards.
So real quick, I had some homework to do and I forgot to do this. I had a picture
my logo
of me with frosted tips, or probably around the
yeah.
same time frame, and wanted to share that. And I didn't have any facial hair. My hair was real short. And then second is ask Adam about a Disney borrowing a Disney logo design.
That is for Jerry. Jerry's second company was Pop. Like after he sold Soda Toys, he made Pop Culture Shock Collectibles, and I did the logo. And yes, it looks a lot like a hotel at Disney, but it's different. I'll have you know, it's different enough. Thanks, Winger Lose. You're awesome.
So there was a lot of funny comments during your story, but I wanted to pay attention to the story, so I did not listen to them. But so the uniform at Fashion NU IU
Fashion Institute of Technology. Those I was wearing back then, because that would have been like the mid to late 90s. I was wearing they were called like UFOs, so they were big cargo pants, because I was kind of like a raver-ish kid, I guess. I was into jungle and drum and bass like that. I don't know that I want stuff like this to live on in the internet. I don't want to acknowledge this, Mike. This is what I was like. I was a raver kid.
we can unlist this as soon as we're done.
It's fine. Yes, they were very big baggy pants. They looked ridiculous. I have lots of pictures that I will not send to any of you. Yeah,
we'll see.
Plasty is saying Jankos too. I did wear Jankos, but I preferred the UFOs. The UFOs at least had the ties at the bottom, so that way you could like maybe not like. That's the other problem is like New York, you get inclement weather. And when you're wearing big giant pants, as soon as those hit any kind of wet ground, whether that's snow or slush or just rain, you're like, God damn it. The entire lower leg is all soaking wet and really uncomfortable. Not conducive to being cool. He's right. You can hide Sentinel in UFOs. That's where Pocket Figs, like, honestly, Toy Farce should get on that, actually, because Pocket Fig, Toy Farce, Sentinel, Jankos. There you go.
All right. So long time, artistry. I actually, when I first went to school, I went for graphic design here in Charleston at a local state institution. And I was told basically that the market is a vacuum market and that I'm in the wrong career. So I immediately went like, it was either medical or like IT services. And I was like, I'll do IT. That's what my dad does. Right. And luckily that was a good choice because they pay quite well. And there's plenty of jobs in the market right now. But I wish I would have stayed with something artistic because I love doing that stuff. And like, it comes naturally to me. And I think I made a mistake there, but it is what it is.
Say that. Cause like literally like, I was so happy to like not be in advertising. Like I did work in it for a little while and it was cool. And like, I actually have some fond memories and some stuff that we worked on that was cool from those days. I've designed a good chunk of logos, not all of which look like Disney hotels. Win or lose, you butthole. But the point I'm trying to make there is that like in art school, before even deciding that like I wanted to do graphic design and advertising, I was dabbling in other stuff and in fine arts and illustration. I was like, I kind of want to be a comic book artist. And it was like, I was like, I've always been a nerd for toys and comics. So it's like, I thought for a hot second, I was like, I learned so fast that I was like, there's no way I'm not nearly good enough. And like, I had art teachers at FIT that she taught. One of her students was the guy who created SHI comic book character. I think it's Billy Tucci was his name, but she would always talk about him in class because it was like she was into comics and he was a successful comic book artist. And like, she was so hardcore that it was just, I was just like, that dream got written off so fast. And then my mom, here's another one that's like ridiculous for you. Like I'm gonna just throw something out there and people are probably gonna bite onto it. My mom is a gynecologist. So she had a patient that her patient's father was, I believe it was her father, might have been the wife, but knew John Buscema. So John Buscema is How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, longtime Marvel artist, amazing artist. And I actually got to meet him in person too.
Oh,
like my mom set it up and I went over to his studio and he was showing me so much original art and talking to him. And he was just like, yeah, you don't want to make comics. You don't want to be in this industry. And it was just like, oh man, okay.
Did he say why?
He's like a prolific, awesome. Like it's like I have How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way out on my shelf. I didn't dumb enough. I did bring a comic to get him to sign while I was visiting him, but it was just an issue of Thor that I had. So I got him to sign that, and I'm like, damn it, I should have got him to sign How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, because like that book is so great.
He wanted no competition. He saw that you were skilled and was like, hey, I don't want any pressure on what I got going on. Prime, here we go. It's getting good. It must have been the gynecologist.
That's it. Yep. My mom will happily tell you that's that same kind of job where it's like, yeah, jackass, you might think it's good, but think about all the bad, right?
There's bad in every job.
Yeah, there's definitely some not winners that I'm sure she has to deal with.
All right. You're getting spicy up in here. Here we go.
I was gonna not acknowledge it at all. It's just gonna sit there.
Look how big it is. You got it chilling right on top of the box. I didn't even notice that.
He's just chilling.
Yep. I've not gotten a shipping notice on either of mine. Any of mine.
Yeah, this one is actually Renee got 2, and he got both of his before I got a shipping notification for mine. So he was kind enough to give me his second one, and then mine is supposed to be I think it might get delivered tonight. So I have to give that to him at work on Monday. So
you're saying it never came in. They lost it in the mail.
That's it. Oh, it got lost. Sorry. How are the knees? The knees are fine on mine. I mean,
yeah, that's not bad. So there's been waves of like, what we're seeing with Sentinels, and I think we're past most of the baby stuff, and now we're starting to see customizers. I think Lionheart dioramas.
When they did a battle damage version.
Yeah, that was so badass. Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah,
that's very ballsy. Like that's like very, very ballsy. But
it looked good though.
Yeah, exactly.
Really good.
I would just be so afraid of like, I talked to you about this before we got on, but it's like, I hate, that's my biggest problem with customizing and stuff, is that like, I hate painting. I'm not patient enough for painting. And I feel like I would mess it up. That's my other joke about my customs and stuff, is that like all my customs probably cost like $1 million because I pull so many different parts because I want to do as little painting as humanly possible. So like I use bits and pieces from so many different action figures that like it's ridiculous. And then yeah, the custom is sitting on like there's a grifter right above the Sentinel's shoulder right there. That thing is so many, like it's like Shang-Chi arms on old man Hawkeye body, and then it's a Mezco white skull jacket that I dyed green, and it's like that figure is ridiculously hard to get. So I'm an idiot that's what I used. It's got Havoc's hair. It's got so many different pieces from so many different action figures that it's like this thing it probably cost me hundreds of dollars of fodder to make it. Stupid. I'm dumb.
Well, that's a good segue. Let's jump into some of your Instagram posts. I think we want to start with first your playing with myself post, because a lot of people are very familiar with your white hot photos. Um, yeah, Lionheart did those Sentinels, and yeah, that was super. And he's really good at that. I actually have a couple vehicles from him that he's you know weathered up real nicely. But yeah, let's go ahead and get that screen share going. Let's dive into playing with myself.
Yep. Dive right in. Do you think I'll ever regret that username?
No. Well, I don't know.
Not yet. So
what am I doing wrong here? There we go. All right. So I'm stuck on myself. Let's actually go to Adams. Here we go.
Oh, you're stuck and guys, with yourself.
Yeah. If you aren't following Adam, take some time out. Go follow him. He's got some really dope photos here. We're going to jump into 2 accounts tonight. One is his photo account. Is that right, Adam? This is more your photo account, and the other one is your custom account, right?
That's like one of the jokes. Like there's a little link tree in there that you could click on. And don't click on it, but like you could, where it's like got 8 million different accounts, because like I've got Playing with Myself is my toy photo account, but it's what it really is it's my my portfolio. It's stuff that we've worked on. So it's like I do really limit myself in that it's only pictures of stuff that was at some point worked on at Gentle Giant Studios. So like whether that's digitally sculpted or full prototypes made or whatever, that's all the toys you see on that page are made there. When I dabble in toy photography, which I suck at it, but I do pretend occasionally, I'll do a thing called Sunday Shelfies, and I post that on my Twitter page or on my Facebook page. And like every Sunday I post a picture that's more toy photography. But yes, these are all white hot stuff that I've worked on at Gentle Giant, been a part of with my giant team of guys. Like, let me just reiterate that Gentle Giant Studios is the key there. It is a very big team of guys. Super, super talented sculptors. Some of my best friends work there. And I love all these guys. And you know, we are lucky enough to get to work on a lot of stuff that we're super into. So yeah, that's one of my Instagram accounts. I have like 7.
That's dope. I didn't realize that on this particular one that these are all the things that have, you know, at some point been worked on, which is kind of cool, because I've always wondered, you know, besides like looking on the bottom of a select, I don't know where it is on Hasbro if they actually say what studio they worked with, but it's cool to be able to come here and look at. It's
usually like Diamond is the main one that credits people, you know, like some of the other companies like Mezco occasionally does, I think, NECA occasionally. But yeah, for the most part, like, yeah, Hasbro and Mattel don't really acknowledge it. And that was kind of why I started the Playing with Myself Instagram account, is that I wanted to have a bit of a portfolio of stuff we worked on. And I didn't love product promo shots, you know, like all of it. Like when I look at them, it's like, that's posed wrong, or like that's assembled incorrectly, or like what, you know, like in general, I was like, I want to do like product promo shots of stuff that we worked on that I can be like, hey, this is a portfolio. This is stuff that we've made, you know, we've had our hands in some way. So it was my answer to that. And that's why I do this white hot thing, because it's like the most basic bare bones product promo shot kind of idea.
Yeah, and now that I know that, I'm actually coming back through. I'm gonna catalog what has been done, because you know, a lot of times, you know, Wade or Unparalleled Universe will call it out, but I'm a fan of the work, and actually I put a soft goods cape on that Odin, which dude, really,
you know, like this wired soft goods capes. I want, you know, like we all know Hasbro is not going to be able to cost that out for a regular priced action figure. But it's like the guys that are doing it, like the third party guys, you know, DD19 and I mean like the Riot X. I feel bad. I feel like I should have had names ready to drop, but there's so many guys that are making so much good stuff.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I started picking up this 12-inch line, and like this cape that came on Thor, I like the drapiness of it. So they can do it, right? If they wanted to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, these were like $30, right?
Money. Yeah. The 12-inch line, we worked on a few of those as well. The Spider-Man, Captain America, the Iron Man, but a handful of those. So it was like that's what it's cool because we work on I would say like a little bit more than half of the Hasbro Marvel Legends probably have a little bit of our DNA in them, you know, maybe even more so because we've developed a lot of the base bodies that they reuse all the time. So, you know, we've had a very long, awesome relationship with Hasbro. I'm very close friends with a lot of the guys over there. You know, the big three are awesome. I love Ryan, Dwight, and like they're and Dan. Sorry, I should name all three if I say that. But like those guys are great, and then there are guys that you don't see on the live streams that we work with on a daily basis as well. I'm not going to throw their names out there because I don't know that they want their names out there in public. But there's a lot of the design team that you guys never get to see. You know that you guys that. You know, they're just behind the curtain and they're working on this stuff, and they all deserve lots of kudos as well for what they do.
There you go. Yeah, so I'm a big fan, and you know, you were talking about promotional shots, but these come off, you know, obviously not promotional, but they're so clean and so well done that I think it looks good. I've a big fan.
Slightly over time. I still like if you go back to like the very beginning, which you don't want to scroll that far back, because I think I started this account back in like 2015 or something thereabouts. Those shots are awful. Like they're like some of my coworkers give me crap about it because it's like they were like very high contrast, and it was like me messing around at first and like not really knowing what I'm doing. But I do have a little bit of background with Photoshop, so I do use Photoshop. I'm not afraid of admitting to that. Photoshop is a tool, and it's like it helps. But I have a Foldio. It's Orange Monkey Team is the name of the company, like on Instagram. But it's called a Foldio 3, and it's a white light box. And it's since I got that thing a few years ago, my pictures have I think improved a lot, and they're a lot easier for me. Like it's like a matter of just doing a little bit of white balance, color balance, clean up to get them like the white hot look. But in general, like that Foldio light box is amazing. Anyone that wants to take those type of pictures, it's very cool. It's also portable. Like it folds down. I never fold it down because I'm using it often enough that I'm too lazy to fold it and unfold it all the time. So I just keep it fully erect.
Hey.
Yeah.
Got to.
You're welcome, Plasty. There's another one for you.
Hey, y'all worked on the Raptors?
Yeah, we did. So the Raptors changed a little bit in production. I think if you go back to the San Diego Comic-Con original one that they showed off back in I think it was 2018 or something, you'd have to find promo pics online, or booth pics. And then they had that Raptor. That's one that we did. And I believe we even painted that one. I think Beardy painted that one. I don't know. He would answer better than I do. So I don't want to make outlandish claims that aren't true, but we did work on the initial prototype for the Velociraptor. It then did not come out for I think at least 2 years. It took a good chunk of time after they showed the initial prototype at San Diego Comic-Con before the first one hit. And they did tweak the articulation slightly, but they used overall our original digital sculpt that we made for them. So
dude, that's so awesome. And I can't go in a room now and not find a Velociraptor, because when they went on sale, 2 or 3 of these that went on sale for $7.99, I was yeah, I'll take 5 of them, right?
I like that picture. I have them posed kind of like this, like up on the shelf over here. But because I keep buying every repaint of them, I don't have any room left on the shelf. So now they're riding on each other's backs. So it's like it's literally a pile of velociraptors up there.
Dude, me and my son, like, that's what we go to Target and we look for that Jurassic line. And we recently picked up the that big old Toro. I don't know if you've watched Camp Cretaceous or not, but there is like a 3-foot Toro. I think it's about 3 foot, but dude, it is a monster. Like, they didn't have dinosaurs like that when I was growing up, not for that price anyway.
No,
and it's so awesome that we can offer that to our generation.
If I had more space, I would be buying a lot more of the Jurassic World stuff. Right now, I've been mostly like I bought the pterodactyl that's not called a pterodactyl because I'm freaking old and I call dinosaurs by their old original names.
Pluto's a planet? Not a planet?
Yeah, I don't. It's Uranus. Uranus? I don't know.
Yeah, we picked up that mosasaur, and it's like the biggest bath toy ever. I don't even think it's supposed to be a bath toy, but like it's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah. So there was a question actually from IG, and since we're talking about the white hot backgrounds, let's bring that up real quick. Star Marvel, I'm gonna pick on you real quick. Star Marvel, here we go. Boom. So this is one of the IG questions, and this has I think you answered this here is why I'm going to go ahead and call it out.
Yeah.
But so you're using a light box, a white box.
A light box. Yeah. Specifically the Foldio 3. I think I bought it on Amazon. But it's a great one. It's got like light bars that are magnetized to the side, and it's like got a little thing that you can control like the brightness levels and everything. But I love it. It's pretty sizable. Unfortunately, this guy is not going to fit in it. So I've been struggling. I ended up, some guys online, Matt K, actually, Whoosh photographer, and also Hidden Level Toys were like, dude, just go to an art supply store and just buy you can get a big ass roll of white paper cheap. And then I do have some other lights. So I'm going to have to like basically take over part of the living room or something to do Sentinel shots. That's likely going to be my day tomorrow. So there you go. Expect to see more Sentinel shots on my page soon.
Sweet. So since you're posting pictures of Sentinel, did y'all have a hand in any of that? Okay.
Yeah. We digitally sculpted Renee Aldretti, digitally sculpted this HasLab Sentinel. He actually also did the HasLab Galactus. So yeah, Gentle Giant worked on both of those HasLabs.
Yeah, and I apologize. I probably should know that. I didn't know that.
Fine. It's like
awesome.
No one really advertises it. And it's like I haven't gotten in trouble for mentioning it yet, so we're gonna keep going with it.
That's dope. So guys, I don't know if you knew that, but I learned something tonight, along with mold making and silicone making. I'm learning more here, so it's awesome. That's dope. So I can't wait. I got 3. I can't wait to do some kind of photos with them. Since we're talking about photos, like October is going on, and I want to kind of put myself out there. I've not done a lot of toy photography in a while, but was why I got into like dioramas. So I'm trying to flex, and I don't have any space to because you need to set up a spot with lights and stuff. So you're not always trying to find out where your lights are. And anyway, so I set up the spot behind me to kind of be a place for October. And I'm hoping to get some photos out this month. So we'll see.
That's awesome. I honestly, like I said, I barely dabble in what I consider toy photography. And it's like, I suck at it for the most part. I have a picture that I'm going to post tomorrow for my Sunday shelfies that I'm pretty proud of. But like, again, it's crap compared to like the guys that I follow. Like I'm following so many talented toy photographers that it's just like I'm like, oh, this one came out pretty nice, but I'm like, it's like I bet they would like pat me on the head and be like, yeah, good work, champ, keep it up, like it's like whatever. So I appreciate anyone that can do good toy photography. It's amazing. And like I said, I'm just just dabbling. I'm just playing in the playground a little bit. I don't claim to be a toy photographer by any means.
I mean, you're shooting pictures of toys. So it depends on how far you want to take it.
Okay, fine. Semantics.
Yeah. But it's recreation. I don't claim to be it, but I think it's fun. And, it's the only way you're going to learn is to get in there and do it. And it goes back to the tours. I can't even talk. Tools in the shop, right? If you don't use them, you're never going to learn how to use them or what they can do. So I want to flex that a little bit. I want to, try to take it to the next level. And something like that does it. When you put it out there for everybody to see and tag it, like, you better be putting your best foot forward, or at least what you can do, right? So it can be stressful too, I think, because a lot of times I don't even understand what some of those daily ones are. I'm like, I guess this is what it means. But anyway,
it's all interpretation.
But yeah, let's jump. Okay, so this is cool. Let's jump into the kit bashing. You cool with that? We jump into your customs.
So that's Industrial Strength Customs.
See if I can spell.
So Industrial was my original internet username, back in the day on it, I used it all the time on Whoosh, but before that, even on Raving Toy Maniac, Action Figure Times. I've been on the internet for toys since I don't know, the late 90s, early thousands, is when I guess the internet started becoming less about just chat rooms and more about there's some message boards and other stuff going on. So Industrial was my name there. So that's where Industrial Strength Customs comes from. And Wingerloo's, I designed that logo too, and it doesn't look like any Disney hotel. So you know what? It's all good. So yeah, Industrial Strength Customs. This is mostly, the funny thing is, if you scroll down far enough, there's Marvel Legends Customs. I try to stay away from Marvel Legends Customs because in general, I'm as soon as I make it, then it's going to become a real thing. And I'm going to be why did I waste time and money on stuff to making it so I do a lot. I've done anime stuff. I grifter there that you see. But I enjoy it as a hobby sometimes. Other times I come home from work and I do not want to think about toys at some points. I'd like to, focus on other things. But there's time when the creative juices hit, or in this case, the Spawn frustration hits from, the official Kickstarter Spawn. I was man, that figure is not going to be what I want it to be. And I ordered it. I actually ordered the 3-pack. So I have all 3 of the Kickstarter Spawns, and they're cool. I do have one out on display on a bookshelf, but it's still not the figure I wanted it to be. So I went in and I did that. I added the thigh swivels, Bill's tutorial. Bill Maru is adding thigh swivels to McFarlane Toys. So I added thigh swivels to the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn. Then I gave it's got the head and some of the gear from one of the older Color Tops Spawns to make it a little bit more comic book focused. And then it's got a wired cape and wired chains that I got on eBay. And then the funny thing is that figure's also a full repaint because I'm a moron. And I just I was the Mortal Kombat figure is actually a dark gray. And I was I'll be able to get away with this and not having to repaint it. And then it's all of a sudden, you mess up one part. I think my Dremel skipped on something or whatever. And I was no, I have to paint this. And then it became a full repaint. And it's it doesn't even look like it is, but it is. So yeah. And it's got just accessories from previous Spawn figures, but I put together a Spawn that I actually wanted. So that's there it is side by side with the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn. So that's what the majority of the figure is.
I wasn't a fan of the cape. It hindered a lot of it, and then it just didn't stand. So yeah, I got rid of it too. But this looks really good, really good.
Yeah, it's cool. I still have the links for that around because people have asked me a bunch of times for that one. And then I did pick up a new cape that someone had made for the Kickstarter spawn that I have not. It's sitting like literally on the floor in a bag right over here because I haven't even tried messing with it. But it looks like a really good cape as well. So one of these days I'll do some more spawn stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Spawn, and I was with you. I got the 3-pack. I've only displayed the modern Spawn, which I thought was cool. And it looks great on the shelf, but I would like to put a better cape on it. And I might hit that link because that cape looks right. I like the cow. That's a cow, right?
Yeah.
What is that called? Looks really good. That's actually something hard to make. I tried to make it myself, and I was like, nah, I can't do that.
Oh, dude, anyone that customize, like that does any like cut and sew, like stitching fabric stuff, like, God, they are amazing. So like I modified my Mezco John Wick because I was super upset with Mezco John Wick, just like everyone that got Mezco John Wick. So I basically, I went in with like a little like X-Acto knife and basically I removed all of his clothes, you know, got him all naked. And then what I ended up doing was just replacing his arms because the rest of the body really wasn't that bad. It's the arms. And so I gave him double jointed arms that I found. I think I used like one of the Crazy Toys figures or something. I was able to like modify all the joints and get them to snap right back in. But then you have to like stitch his clothes back up because like I had to like literally like parts of him with his vest and everything to get it to remove. Like it's all stitched together and I could not do it. So I asked my fiance to help me and like she was cursing. She hated that. She did do it. She had like, it took her some time, but she did do it and it's great. And now it actually functions. It's somewhere in here as well, but I've got piles of toys next to me.
Yeah, that's one of those things like I try to do myself. Like I realized I could cut fabric on the laser. So I cut a few. I tried wire with the, fabric glue that didn't hold. Then I tried, hand stitching. Then I tried a cheap sewing machine. Then I eventually got a decent sewing machine. And dude, like you learn along the way, but like I was able to get my stitching down super nice. But then there's next level stuff people are doing that it's like, there's no way I can try to do that.
I was like, the only other thing that I did with soft goods was on Grifter, I used fabric dye on that jacket. And like that, like even that was just a pain in the ass. And I was so worried because I was like, I'm going to use fabric dye. And now like his arms are going to be permanently dyed and stuff. So it's like, it ended up like, it became the longest process just to like, I was like running that under like cold water and soap and like so forever. And then little bits and pieces would start to fray because I'm washing it and trying to make sure all the dye is out and dried and cured. So it's like I would get I got some of the fabric glue that was actually a recommendation of Fwoosh Disc Thunder, who's also a very good 1/12 fabric customizer in general, but he does a lot of Mezco style stuff. And he had recommended this glue, and like I used that to fix all the seams and stuff. I actually ended up using that glue a little bit on my Kaneda, the Akira custom as well, because I got he's got some soft goods also. I forget how much stuff I've done with soft goods. Never mind. I take it all back. I guess there's been a lot because like all my eraser head too. So yeah, I've been dabbling in dolls, I guess.
Well, one thing that you were talking about the fabric, I did notice on this figure that I don't know how old it is now, but look, yeah, you can see where that has just rubbed off on the figure.
Yeah, that's exactly what my fear is with like if I'm doing some fabric dye, I'm like, oh God, after a certain amount of time sitting on my shelf that I'm going to be like, I have to redo this toy, or like I totally ruined this, like, and it sucks. So like I end up going, one of the jokes with some of my coworkers is my customs, and half of the reason why it's industrial strength customs is my customs have to be ready to be able to go in the bathtub with me. So like they have to be able to withstand, like I can't And that's why I try to choose like base body colors that are like at least the right color. Like even Blackheart. Blackheart is, I built him on the Sunfire figure. He's got red paint all over him, but he's built on a red base body. So that way I don't have to worry about chipping or like anything. Like it's like, I know that that figure is going to be able to withstand me cranking around its joints and doing stuff, because I'm OCD about that kind of thing. Like I'm like, if it's messed up, I'll know it's messed up, you know? And it's like, that doesn't work for me on my shelf.
This is dope. I actually just watched this the other night. I had some homework from Mario 796 Studios. And dude, I've not watched Akira in probably like 15, 20 years. It's amazing how much I forgot. This is dope.
That's spoiler for you. My Sunday shelfies tomorrow is using this figure, but in a little bit more like of a toy photography way, because I dug up, I have the old McFarlane Akira figures, so I dug up some props and stuff. I have some pieces from Punker Mike, so like I put together like a little photo that I will be posting on Playing With Myself Facebook and my personal Twitter tomorrow. I post it in my IG stories as well, so if anyone wants to take a look at my crappy toy photography, you'll see one tomorrow.
Well, I don't Facebook, but I guess I am about to go on Facebook right now.
You really don't have to. Go on, then, like, honestly, if you don't want to go on Facebook, go on my Twitter instead, because you could probably just do that. I don't know, whatever you want. You don't have to go on either. No one needs to see that. And they're all either Playing With Myself or A. Van Wickler, mostly. They come out at night.
Oh, I'm already following you. All right.
Mostly.
We're good. We'll see it. I'll just make sure I have to log into Facebook. All right. So cool. This is dope. And, you know, using the same, I like how you're doing the same, you know, shooting style here for your customs. These look really cool. And most of these obviously are favorites of yours, right? You're working on them for a reason, not just because you thought of it, but you know, you wanted to make the perfect one to what you envision.
If you scroll far enough back, though, like seriously, it's Hasbro stuff that has then since been made. Like you'll see, like, Gambit and Magneto and Black Widow and Iron Fist, and it's all stuff where it's like Hasbro hadn't, like, if you, I don't remember what the dates are, but if you click on it and you look at the dates, it's like those predate the official Hasbro pieces, and it's like I was making them, and then I'm like, damn it, when we actually start working on the real ones, I'm like, I just wasted my time. So that's why I've been trying to get away from making Marvel Legends customs in general and just do other stuff. But yeah, that's a Magneto that's pretty similar to the one that came out. Same thing. It's a Gambit that's pretty darn similar to the one that came out. I was about to say,
that Gambit that was released just a few years ago was brand new. This, what body buck is this? That's the multiple man coat, right?
That is, well, actually, I think that might have been the Nick Fury coat.
Oh.
So, like, it's kind of like a brownish gray, and that's why I used it. Like, because the multiple man coat wasn't even out at the time that I made that Gambit. I think he's mostly parts of like the parachute Spider-Man or black costume Spider-Man body. And then again, like I use stuff from Too Many Figures. So it's like that's got Marvel Select parts, shrunken down casting cave, I think, head of the Marvel Select figure. Then I think the collar piece came from the Marvel Legends one, and same thing with the belt. So it's like I was pulling bits and pieces off of existing action figures to make that Gambit. And then, then and General Giant worked on the official one, and I was just like, damn it. that custom's in a bin somewhere, just total waste of time and parts and money. Same thing with Magneto, and same thing with that Deadpool, saying like Silver Surfer, like that was like that's so like a Bucky cap thing or something. And then that was a head that I actually got one of my coworkers to make based on Ron Lim's art, which I love, like Silver Surfer, and I love Ron Lim's artwork. That's like quintessential Silver Surfer head to me. So yeah, we made that before the Walgreens one ever came out. Yeah, that's womp womp womp. Say Crossbones. Crossbones got official release. Like it's like all that stuff. It's like this. I was making these before we actually even worked on the official ones. Yep, same thing with Cyclops. Lots of sob stories here. Like this is all really dumb.
This is dope.
I'm stupid. Oh, that I was really happy with that, the Death Trooper. So that was based on like there was a Star Wars expanded universe novel about the Death Troopers, and then Gentle Giant thought it was cool and did a mini bust of the Death Trooper, and I think it came with the book too, so you get the novel and the mini bust, and I was like, that's dope. And like the Black Series had like just started at that time, and I was like, I'm gonna get an extra Stormtrooper and I'm gonna have fun with the Dremel. And like that's all. Like that figure is like me just taking a Dremel and just going to town. Like I like dremeling out his torso, the helmet, like his leg, his arms. He's got like gory battle damage all over him. And then like I did a little bit of like 2-part like Aves putty stuff here for some of the gore and goo. I think he has a Ghost Rider skull with an articulated jaw that I jammed in there. And then I think I painted this one. Beardy might have helped me. I don't know. I do like I think I told you this before we got on the air, but maybe I said it. I'm repeating myself because I'm old and senile. I hate painting, so I sometimes enlist my talented coworkers to assist me here and there. And I beg Beardy to help me paint things that I can't paint myself. I'm not sure if that was him or not. He'd know better.
Now, this is a dope looking Adam Warlock.
That came out cool. Like that's, someday Hasbro will probably make one, and then I'll throw that one in a bin too.
Oh, dude, these are dope.
Yeah, that's
one of my favorite movies.
I made those. I love Fight Club. Like I am silly. Like that was my Fwoosh avatar for the longest time was Tyler Durden. We have tons of Fight Club stuff. I ended up buying the 12-inch Blitzway Tyler Durden figures. I actually have 3 of them, like the 2 regular ones, and then I end up buying an extra so he could wear the bathrobe that came as his exclusive because I'm obsessed. But they never made Edward Norton the narrator, so like my Edward Norton custom is still cool, but like the Blitzway Tyler Durdens are much better than my custom Tyler Durden. That custom Tyler Durden is now also in a bin somewhere because the official one's way, way better.
It's still sick though.
Yeah, you see multiple Snake Eyes, and then like it's like I'm a Snake Eye. I'm a giant G.I. Joe fan. Like I do love the Classified series. I'm definitely in for at least some of the Super 7 stuff. I mean, G.I. Joe is one of the toy lines that I credit with making me such a big toy fan. My mom still tells people that I was potty trained with the promise of a new Star Wars action figure every time I went like a big boy. Like that's my Twitter bio, because like, and it's not a lie. Like my mom literally tells people that all the time, that it's like, oh, I potty trained him by promising him a new Star Wars action figure. And it's like, I guess it worked. So I was a giant Star Wars fan. But then when G.I. Joe came out in like 83, I got, a couple figures from the first wave, and I was like floored with how much I preferred them over Star Wars figures because of articulation. So the superior articulation, the ball jointed shoulders and ball jointed hips, knee joints, elbow joints. And then once they did the swivel, like it was like, I was floored. I was like, this is a toy that I could pose and play with. And like, I always wanted Star Wars toys to be like that. I was like, I couldn't fathom why the same, it's like, oh, these are the same size figures, and these have 5 points of articulation, and then these I can actually make sit in vehicles and do things. So G.I. Joe was one of my favorites for the longest time, just for that reason.
Yeah, I missed out on the GI. I mean, I remember watching GI Joes as a kid, but I think one of my first loves was like Turtles. That will always be like that, and Thundercats was like my two jams. And
I'm
probably not
really
getting
big
a lot
into
of
Thundercats. I just got. Are you buying the Super 7 Thundercats?
yeah.
Yeah, I just
You
got
know what?
Slythe. I haven't opened him yet, but I think that Slythe is going to be in my top 10 of 2021 like easily. It looks like an unbelievably sculpted, like perfect version of Slythe. I'm super excited to open him.
The only thing I was confused about, and I understand the articulation with Super 7, but I couldn't tell if there was actually movement in the shoulder and the arms from some of the promo pics. So I was kind of waiting until I saw the review to really decide if I'm going to get it. I got the Thunder Tank. I got the first wave. I'm definitely going to pick them up because nobody else is going to make Thundercats at this point, at least not
Right.
that look. And if a new show comes out, they probably won't. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna go quick. I see Slythe is still on Amazon or BBTS, so I'll probably pick it up. But I got all the main guy. Oh, I guess Slythe is a main villain. I need to get him.
He is. Like that's where I'm at with the Thundercats line too, is like the core team and then the core villains are pretty much where I'm sticking. Like there's definitely I say that. I always that's a joke, and Toy Me goes, and it's a joke on all, like it's with you guys too as enablers and everything, where it's like I draw a little line in the sand, but I'm dipping I'm erasing that line in the sand with my foot and then drawing it a little bit further all the time.
Yeah, that's like with Mezco. Like they teased earlier this year, I think at the beginning of the year, or was it Toy Fair, MMPR for Mezco, and I'm like, I'm not buying any more Mezcos until they actually put that one up for pre-order. Dude, I've bought I picked up Hawk. I don't think I've gotten anything since then, but it's like, man, like,
ooh, I was.
But yeah, that line.
I was literally sitting in JFK Airport in New York on Friday morning when Nemo went up on my cell phone, like deleting all of my previous payment info so I could get through on the order, and that's it. Like that Nemo looks,
Yeah,
like definitely into that.
I might get him. I don't know. It looks cool, and it's definitely they're coming out with some unique stuff, and that's what I'm all about, right? But there's so much in the market, so much that it's like you can't
buy.
Yeah, you can't get it all. Like I skipped Galactus, and I'm kicking my butt. I don't know why I skipped it. I did, and now I'm gonna regret it next year. And everybody's getting their Galactus, or when they wait for 3 months to get it to ship. Sorry, Hasbro, but yeah,
it's true though. Like it's like we're you make the joke of it's like Pokemon, and we're like gotta catch them all, and like trying to buy all this stuff, and like the big thing, and it's like what I talk with Cheney and the other Toy Amigos all the time is like at some point I need to learn, and I need to, for every new thing that I buy, I need to sell one of these things that's sitting in a bin. Like even my old customs and stuff, I'm like, if someone gives me like $12 for it, it's like I should just unload it because it's literally in bins in closets and I'm not enjoying them anymore. So it's like if I want this new hotness, I should unload the old busted, right? I can't wait for that figure. That figure upsets me right now though, Mike, because Big Bad Toy Store did that thing where they forced me to ship my pile of loot. They were like, oh, an item is expiring, so it's like you have to ship. So I clicked ship on my pile of loot, and literally the next morning it came in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. So he's sitting all alone in my new pile of loot.
I've got two. I found it on the shelf a couple days ago, and I was like, I'm picking it up because I want to make a custom too. And then BBTS is shipping it, but it was like it'd be 3 or 4 days later. And I want it now. Like I want to be on a conference call at work, opening this guy and playing with it.
I'm definitely excited. I feel like he's on my list too of like he's probably going to be in my top 10 of 2021. Spoilers for all of this stuff. For Cheney's going to be all pissed. He's going to be like, everyone knows your top 10 now. Slythe and NECA Gargoyles, dude.
This some of like Gargoyles, like back in the day, was like one of my, well, I guess mid 90s. I have some of the original figures actually.
Nice.
I I got the wings in a bin somewhere. But yeah, I still got these, and I don't hold on to a lot of things. And I loved it because it was like old school, new school city. There was the technology aspect where like building cyborg stuff, and that was big. Like as kids, like that was my favorite thing. Like technology.
We were talking about like how I'm an old man, and I'm a couple years older than you, but I have the benefit of I have a younger brother who's 4 years younger than I am. So all of the stuff that like that I was supposed to grow out of and not be liking anymore, my brother was into, and I was always more into his toys than he was that he would get for Christmas or birthdays or whatever. I'd be like, I want that. Like, that's what I want instead. But like, so my love for like Ninja Turtles and Gargoyles and everything actually stems from the fact that it was a little bit more meant for my younger brother, but I never stopped buying toys and comics. Right. I never went through that phase of like outgrowing it or trying to be more interested in girls or something, like it's like that never happened to me. I always bought action figures and played with myself.
Rick made the comment about the wings. If the wings didn't come this big, we would have complained about it not being big enough.
That's true. And we all know that NECA's going to release like multiple versions probably, and then someday maybe an ultimate one that comes with all the different wings. I don't know. Like it's bonkers, but like it's like, what are you going to do? Like it's like I feel like it's the best answer for the first iteration of Goliath is to do fully spread wings, but that's a huge toy that's going to take up a giant amount of display space.
Sure. You could take the wings off; they're not permanently attached. If that's, but it's got so much stage presence. The detail on the wings is amazing. Like you can see it in the light. Like, just look at the detail on the wings.
Super cool.
It's dope. I'm glad they took the time to put the detail, into that, right? Anyway, so we're about 10:40 here. Let's roll through some of these Instagram questions real quick, and then we'll get into giveaway stuff. And guys, I did wear a V-neck tonight. I meant to talk about this earlier, but my beard and hair was in the way, so you can't really see it. But I got a V-neck on tonight.
Thank you.
My veins, my what is it? Cholesterol clogged arteries veins there. So let's get into some of these. So I put a thing out there for some questions from Instagram for Adam tonight. And here we go. So from the DMC, who I don't know if he's still here. I've not seen a comment from him in a while, but he said, "What is the obsession with DV?" We now know that it stems from his, Fit Institute.
My time in college at the Fashion Institute of Technology. I honestly, even when I was younger and with crew neck t-shirts, which I own tons of those as well. But I would always kind of tug at them and stretch them out a little bit because I'm one of those guys that doesn't like something. I can't wear a turtleneck like that. Get out of here. And like, if I have to wear a collared shirt, I get to that point in the day where it's like, like if I'm wearing a shirt and a tie or something for like go to a wedding or whatever, like I will wear it like that, like the appropriate way for the first like hour or two. But, come to drinking and dancing time. Oh, that tie's getting loosened up, and those first one or two buttons are getting unbuttoned pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I wear Target V-necks and Old Navy are probably my jam, right? $6 off the shelf. That's what I wear. I like them. But even if I wear a collar shirt, like the first two buttons are never buttoned. One, I got a big fat neck, and two, I don't like anything around it.
The greatest thing is one of the chat migos he's a great person. Chad Kinsler. You've probably seen him post. He's an awesome dude. Yeah. He sent me a Target V-neck. Like he just out of the blue, he was like, "What's your address?" And I was like, "Okay, here." And like a Target Goodfellow V-neck. And it's like I buy those anyway. So it's like I was like, "Great, that's amazing." Chad Kinsler, love you, man. You're awesome.
Yeah, I'm a fan of black. So I have like 5 black.
That's and I'm also like this is another one that is telling about me. I'm one of those guys that hangs up his t-shirts. So my t-shirts are on hangers in a closet, and it's pretty much just black, like crew neck or V-neck for the most part across the board. Like, it's really dumb. It's like it's utterly silly, but that's what I do.
All right. So deep V obsession. There's an understanding now. All right. Here's another one coming from the DMC. What do you make? I think we answered that.
Excrement. That's what he wants. That Diego wants, like, it's like, because he likes to give me a hard time because he likes to think of me as the suit that's not doing anything creative because he's a butthole and he's a big meanie. So there you go. I've made stuff. I've made things, I promise, here and there. Maybe.
All right. Star Marvel had a few in here too. What is your most and least favorite action figure of the year so far? You've actually been answering some of this, so that's pretty good. And you may want to save some of it.
That's man, I wish, like, that's being put on the spot for that is tough, because like there definitely are ones where I'm like, I get it, and I've been disappointed. They're likely not just out anywhere. I've been buying a lot of the McFarlane stuff just in general across the board, but like that's the thing is like some of it bums me out, and it's mostly based on articulation choices. So they're here and there. Like I'd probably say it's probably one of the Marvel Legends figures. You know, I buy the McFarlane My Hero Academia figures, and like those are the ones where I'm like, I find a need to kind of customize them on my own or modify them or do things, because it's like they're close, but they're not all the way there. And then some of my favorites, you know, like I'm the Super 7 Slithe. I'm really looking forward to opening that.
Did you pick up Metalhead from Super 7?
I did. Metalhead's not one of the ones that's the thing. So I was just in New York for visiting family and everything, and I hit one of my old comic book stores while I was there, and they had Super 7 figures for sale, and they had Super 7 figures there for $45. Like, not like no markup, and like less than I've seen them in other places. And Metalhead was one of them, and I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, do I want to buy that figure? And I was just like, I don't. I was back and forth on it. I did not buy it, but I kind of regret it, because I was like, $45, damn good deal. I do have the NECA one. The Super 7 one looks spectacular, though. Like, it looks really good.
It does. It takes me, but this is one of the toys I remember having in hand, and it stands out from all the other turtles. And that's why I like it so much, is it looks like the toy originally did. The NECA one is great. It's more cartoon accurate, I feel like. But this one just, I like it. I like it a lot. Does have the top heavy problems, some weak legs, but you know, it's a big toy. Still fun though. I interrupted you.
No, I think it was mostly just a little, like, you know, McFarlane something in there would fall into my least favorite ish. Regrets. I know. I'm sorry, Yoko.
Hey,
I buy Yoko. I own a ton of Super 7 toys. I promise. Including, I have Mondo Gecko is pre-ordered. I think the Super 7 Mondo Gecko is way more how I picture Mondo Gecko. Like I have the NECA one, and it's the NECA one. It's cool and all, but this is not how, in my mind, this is not what Mondo Gecko looks like. The Super 7 Mondo Gecko is perfection, and I can't wait for that one to show up at my house.
Yeah, and he's much bigger and beefier too, right? What it appears to be than the NECA is. So I can't wait. Yeah, I'm down. I like the turtles a lot. But $45, I can't believe you passed up on it.
I know. It's okay. I was stupid. I know. Damn it. All right. Looks like I got to go back to Long Island, guys.
Yoko's saying the same thing. She's not calling that shop like, hey, you guys can't sell them for that price anymore.
Yeah. I know, seriously. I'm not going to mention the name because if anyone is like Eastern North Shore, Long Island, they'll like go right away. So yeah, I'm not that the comic book
Look,
shop haunt of
MCU
my youth.
collector. The
Yeah.
Hasbro guy even has this guy. I mean, this is childhood. I remember this figure so much, and they killed it with this one. Anyway, moving on.
Damn it. You guys are killing me.
Yeah, you know, with the McFarlane thing, dude, I like McFarlane's a whole lot, especially when you catch them for $7 at Target, right?
Great.
And you can't beat that. And then you put a soft goods on it and just change it up completely.
Oh, I'll throw out another spoiler for my top 10 of 2021. I'm fairly certain that the Violator figure is gonna probably make it into my top 10. And it's like when I first saw, like when they showed that Violator, I was like, that looks cool, but that's like fat Violator. And it's like that's not how like it's like I actually read Spawn and I liked Spawn and I want the skinny, lanky Violator. But that the big chunky boy Violator, it's dope. Like it came out really nice. That's true. That's true. This Mike is one of the enablers. I mean, like that's it. So yes, I come here for my credit card to be destroyed.
Where did you find Violator? I never was able. Is it like Amazon exclusive?
I pre-ordered all of the McFarlane Spawn stuff off of Target, and they never canceled it. And the greatest thing is like at the time they had like some like $25 off $100 like toy purchase coupon. So I ended up I got all of them: Raven Spawn, Gunslinger, the Clown, Violator, and I got them for a good deal too. So
yeah, you'll never see them.
Always suck.
I'll never see them on the shelf. Cool. All right, let's move into the next question. I think you've already answered this one. You did. Thank you. All right, here's another one from Star Marvel. Favorite aspect of customizing action
Good
figures?
question, Star Marvel. Like this is I talk about this with Beardy. Beardy is he heads up the paint shop at Gentle Giant Studios. He's one of my best friends, near and dear. I've loved him forever. I actually met him on the Fwoosh website before I ever met him in person. And then he worked at Soda Toys after I had already left. I had actually connected him with Renee, who was still there. And then he started working at Soda Toys. And then I had him poached and he came over to Gentle Giant. He is the sweetest man in the universe. I gave him the nickname Beardy because I am not that clever and he has a big epic beard. But sweet guy. And he is also a prolific customizer, way better than me, way more talented. He actually paints his as well. So we talk about it all the time though, that our favorite parts of customizing is like after you like do the initial concept of like, hey, these are the different parts I'm going to use. It's like that act of like starting to piece it together and seeing that vision work and come to life. Like, so it's like, hey, I'm going to Dremel out this part and like see if it fits on here. And when it does, like, it's like, you get that customizing high of like, oh, this thing, like, it's like this little boot from this guy works perfect with the leg on this guy. And it's like that, like, you know, envisioning it is one thing and then like getting all the pieces, gathering them. But then like when you're starting to piece them together and you're like, yes, this actually does work. Like, that's so cool. You know, like the Canada that I just put together. When I originally got the soft goods set and everything, I put it on a body, and then I was like trying to use the McFarlane gloves and boots, and I was like, I'll add articulation to it. So I just kind of like popped them together and everything. I even took pictures, and I was like looking at it, and like they just looked goofy because it's like the McFarlane figures were much larger scale, so it's like it was just out of proportion, and I was just bummed out. So I like that custom like sat not being worked on for probably a couple months. Until like I finally like, I don't know, like something, I got the customizing bug again, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go and use boots and gloves from Star Wars Black Series female, because like that's I was like, it needs to be, he's a motorcycle guy. So he needs biker gloves, biker boots that are slim fitting and have the articulation that I want in it.
Right.
So it's like I started searching around. The Island Ray had the right boots, and then Hera had the right kind of gloves with some slight modifications. So it's like once I finally and it's like I owned those figures and they were just in bins anyway. So it's like now but the OCD in me is like I have to replace Hera at least. I don't think I have to replace Island Adventure Ray, but I'm like I do need a new Hera because I can't live without having Hera, or having Hera but having Hera with no hands. So
Right.
I have to figure that out at some point. But that's why my customs are all too expensive, because that's what I do. I use a whole figure for its hands. Dumb. But yes, so long story short, it's the piecing the stuff together, and it's like when you find the stuff that fits, that's my favorite.
Yeah, and I think, I can trace that back to diorama making, and like once you get to that point where you can't even see me anymore, where you're like out of the concept phase and you're like assembling things right before paint, you get that like burst of energy because you see this creation come to life, and then like once you get paint on it, it's like a game changer. You realize that thing you've been envisioning, and it's magical, dude. Like it builds the momentum. Cool. All right, here comes one from Prime. I think Prime left. This is Prime to the realist. This is probably one of the best questions tonight.
Yeah, if he's not here, because I need clarification. It's like with the bun also, or just hot dogs? Because it's
right.
like,
Are we talking about ballparks? You talking about like Sonic 12-inch dogs?
Yeah,
like
it's tough, and it's like, yeah. Do you mean like, and that's it, like the whole thing, or does he mean just like a bite out of it? Because it's like, if it's a hot dog with a bun, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest, it's probably just one. Like, I don't think I could jam. But if it's like just a hot dog and it's a regular size hot dog, like I could probably fit 2 or 3, and like just a bite. Like I can't not the whole like length of it, man. Like that's crazy pills. I don't have those skills. My lady is looking at me funny now. What kind of show is this? It's the guy who makes the arcades. It's his fault. You know, the guy who's only good at arcades? That was his question.
All right, last one comes from the figure booth. Oh, this is interesting. We are firing Josh. Can he take his place? Shh, he doesn't know.
Oh, sweet. All right, sold. Done. So that means that's Nate, right? What's up, Nate? Love ya. I'm down. Don't tell Cheney, though. He might get mad if I join yet another podcast.
Awesome. Yeah, those are the Instagram questions. Thanks, everybody that put out a question. Thanks for entertaining us tonight. That's cool. So we do have a giveaway. We talked about that earlier. Mayonnaise Storm Shadow.
Yeah.
And Adam's going to be giving that away to whoever sent money to his PayPal account tonight.
I'll be nicer than that. I just elbowed my Sentinel. If that thing topples. Let's see. I want to do a question for the chat or something. So it's people that are watching now.
Cool.
And they have to answer some kind of a question. But I really should have thought about this before I just said that out loud, so I could be prepared with a question. All right. All right, here's the deal. We're gonna do the slightly like Toy Migos style. So I'm gonna ask the question. Be ready to type the question in the chat, but don't hit enter on the question until you see my post saying start. Okay, so I'm gonna type the word start, and the first person that types the correct answer to my question after start is the winner. Okay? So, ready? The question is as follows. Mike made the enablers knives that are engraved with enablers on it. What did I say I wanted engraved on my knife? Start. It looks like right away. I'm seeing August photo Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
He got it right away. My lady is asking me what it is. I want a knife engraved with a hot dog on it. Yeah, it's for cutting wieners. Yeah.
Poking wieners.
Yep. That's it. It was that kind of show, baby. That's it. Well, congratulations, August photo Matt. August_photo Matt. You did it.
Yeah, you know the drill. I think you've won something before. Just hit me up on Instagram with your address, as long as it hasn't changed. Make me remember what you got. I try to ship out in a bundle, so it might not go out this week, but I'll get it here in a couple weeks. You'll get your toy. But honestly, like, dude, it cost me $75 to ship 4 figures the other day. The shipping costs more than the figures do. So to give you guys an idea, it's not cheap to give away figures. It's costing me money to give away figures, but I want to keep doing it. So thank you guys for participating. You make it fun. You know, without the live, I think this would be a totally different show. So I want to, you know, keep having you guys come back. So anyway.
Yeah, thanks everyone that stopped by and watched my nonsense for the past 2 hours. Like, Mike is one thing. Me, like, talking about hot dogs the whole time.
All right. Google the Jaws hot dog at Universal Japan.
Studios Japan. Yoko with the hot tips. This sounds like an episode of Snack Migos in the making. Universal Japan.
I'm not going to do it because I don't know what it is.
You don't want to get this unlisted for any other reasons. Studios Japan.
I'll need another shipper box for that one if I get delisted, Yoko. Thomas Brock. I missed your.
Dope. This is dope.
Oh, all right.
Everyone should listen to Yoko. This is cool.
I'll Google it.
It's Jaws. Jaws is swallowing a wiener, man. It's dope. I would eat that. I like it. I approve. Yoko, you're the best.
Oh, I'm taking the time to pull it up.
It's okay. We can talk more about wieners in the meanwhile. Yeah, look at that. It's Jaws is he's trying to one gulp that wiener.
Oh, you sure he's not like pushing up to that girl that may be hungry because she's been swimming for so long?
Yep.
It's got a lot of potassium. He doesn't want that lady to get all cramped up. Thanks for sharing.
That's awesome.
Thomas, you had a question that I apparently missed. I do apologize. Do you want to put it in the chat? I'll throw it up on the screen. No question will go unanswered unless Adam says no.
There's an ET one apparently to August Photo Matt is saying as well. I can only imagine it's like the ET finger where it's like there's been questionable toys made. Like, you know, back in the day, there was a finger add-on that you slide on over your finger. That's ET's finger that was packaged, you know, blister carded, and it looks, you know, like a sex toy, just like you think it would.
Tonight's episode was brought to you by Oscar Meyer Wieners.
It's the way we roll around these parts.
Thomas, did you want to throw your question up? If not, or did he? I don't see it. Maybe he doesn't want to. All right.
Plasty keeps asking the same questions because he knows what the answer is. And the answer lies in the beginning of this stream when I said that Gentle Giant Studios, the iceberg, the water level, the tip is what the stuff that you see that we work on, and then underwater, everything else that we actually work on. So the answer is everything else that we work on. There is a lot of that iceberg under the water.
So obviously, like I don't sit anywhere near the industry, but do within the industry, does other companies know what you guys work on as well?
Only if they come by for tours and see some of the stuff in my office. It all depends.
Well, so hold on a second. So, in one of the birthday notes to a friend of the community not too long ago, was that one of the of the pieces?
Okay. Yes, indeed. There's a little. Someone has to go dig that one up themselves, and then they can see some of the items that we also work on. They're toys. They're just not action figures.
They have points of articulation. Are you saying they're not action figures? They haven't
the
started
one in that video did not have any points of articulation. It was just large.
Okay. All right, we should stop. There's Thomas's question.
What has been your favorite superhero or villain you've ever worked on, Gentle Giant? That's a cool question, and I was super happy when we got the Marvel Legends Kang figure came in, like the kickoff from Hasbro, that we were going to do a classic Marvel Legends comic book Kang, because he's always been like a weird character that I've really, really dug. I had the Secret Wars. I mean, like I've talked about this on like Toy Migos and Unparalleled Universe before, like that I have this weird love of Kang. I'm so excited that now he's, in the MCU. But I had the Mattel Secret Wars figure as a kid. We did work on a Marvel Universe one with Dave Vonner, but then like 6 inches, my scale of choice. So once we got that kickoff from Hasbro, I was so excited. So he was definitely up there. And then guys, there are others that are coming. Like, it's like, I still get giddy to this day. Recently revealed was the classic comic book Doctor Strange, which was actually developed by both Gentle Giant Studios and Paul Harding. So it's like that one's super cool to me, because it's also kind of like a sculptor team up. Like, it's like we're doing a little bit more new stuff these days, where it's like, like we're hired to do even certain parts and everything. And Paul Harding had been doing his Marvel in the 70s, and like he was crushing that. That was his own little personal project, but he did some awesome work on, and he developed the heads for the Doctor Strange, and we developed the body. The cape, unfortunately, is reuse, and anyone that's listening out there that makes custom capes, please make a good wired classic comic book Doctor Strange cape, because I would love to replace mine immediately. I will probably buy more than one from you. So yeah.
There you go. You made a comment about personal projects, and one thing I don't think we really dove into is you got a few personal projects going on. Do you have time to talk about those?
I'll touch on that for sure. So anyone that does know that aspect about me, I do have 2 other gigs going on the side. The Cursed Dead, which is like a horror based line that's 6-inch scaled, super articulated, and Mortal Ruin, which is more of a post-apocalyptic soldier 6-inch scale super articulated line. Both of those we debuted at Designer Con right before the pandemic hit. Since then, I've posted updates here and there, but nothing crazy. Mostly both teams of guys had babies. So one member of the Cursed Dead team had a baby during the pandemic, and then a member of the Mortal Ruin team also had a baby during the pandemic. So we were navigating the pandemic, navigating fatherhood for some of them. We have still been working on prototypes. There's a lot that we've been working on behind the scenes. We basically just haven't been showing it off on social media, because we don't want to do that long of a drawn out tease anymore. It's more like we're getting everything ready, our ducks in a row. Designer Con is back to being in person this year. I don't think we're doing a booth, just based on some of the comfort factor of the team and running a booth, but there may be some kind of presence. I'm only going to tease that just a little bit. So I will be going to Designer Con no matter what. So I hope to see some people there, and we can, fist bump or elbow bump or something, and pour hand sanitizer on our hands, and then look at cool toys. So yeah, both of those are indeed still happening. It's just a matter of like keep an eye on the social media, and I'm sure I'm sure Instagram will be like, hey, the Cursed Dead just updated for the first time in a long ass time, or likewise for Mortal Ruin. So you'll see more. There is stuff. I mean, like I have painted prototypes in this room that have not been seen by other people yet. So trust me, work is being done on both.
Nice. Yeah, I can't wait. And me and my wife plan on coming out to Designer Con. We want to do that in Disney in November to celebrate some just life stuff. So hope to run into you there.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Vern's Hobbies asked a question too, which I do like. I want to address because like it's not like I have been missing in action. When am I going to be back on Tony? He goes, I will be back this coming Thursday. Unfortunately, my dad had some health issues that I flew back to New York, so I missed a few shows, guys. I did miss all of you. I miss being on the shows. I miss talking about toys. I had a blast talking about toys tonight. I will be back on it. He's and also my dad is doing much better now, so there's everything's cool. Yeah, you won't ever be able to get rid of me. I will be on as many podcasts as have me. That's the way I roll.
Well, because you signed up for this one, there is a reunion. I like to do a reunion.
Yes,
I did it the
I
first
know.
time.
I'm
bring
excited.
Everybody back.
I'm down. Hollywood Squares. Can I be in the middle though? Because like, remember like when we did crossover stuff and never mind.
Yeah.
Well, you know this.
It was the me and Cheney.
Yeah.
Definitely can do that. We'll put you in any square you want to be, whoever you want to be between or on top of or below of. Here's a question from Matt.
Question about the bust ups line. So that was Gentle Giant Ltd. I'm part of Gentle Giant Studios. Gentle Giant Ltd. and Gentle Giant Studios used to be under the same roof. Then there's Gentle Giant Digital, Gentle Giant Fine Art. Gentle Giant Ltd. actually, like about 2 years ago, was sold to Diamond. So Diamond Select actually owns Gentle Giant Ltd. So all of that product is actually Diamond product. Gentle Giant Studios does still work on prototyping, a good chunk of it. I know this is confusing for everyone. It's confusing for us too. But Bust Ups was Gentle Giant Ltd. product when Gentle Giant Ltd. was still under the same roof. But it still was some different teams. Like sometimes sculptors and painters would work on both, but generally like the LTD stuff was developed separately. I mean, I did have my hands on some LTD product that I own and I have lying around, but yeah, it was a case by case basis.
So we'll roll through some of these more questions. I don't know how you're doing on time, but I don't want to hold you up too long.
I like the only bummer is like I have to make another. I have a little bit, but I have to make another drink at some point, Mike. Like keep that alcoholism going. Toy Box of Doom. If I could collect only one line, what would it be and why? I mean, like honestly, like I know that a lot of people complain at this point about Marvel Legends not being as exciting anymore, and like I get it, like I get that. But it's still like that line is my baby and I love it. And like, I love being a part of it, but even if I wasn't a part of it, I would still be buying that line. Like that from the Toy Biz lines to Hasbro and what they're doing with it now. And like the cool thing, like there's still some great stuff coming from Hasbro and there's exciting stuff that's coming that you guys don't even know about yet. Like there's reason to be hyped. Hasbro is still like, they're into this line. They know that it's popular and not all of it is just new heads on the same old base bodies. It's like there's really, really cool stuff as well. So I love it. I couldn't live without Marvel Legends. You
have something sitting right over your shoulder that indicates that like how is that boring? How is that? I mean, that's a lot of people don't even have those in hand yet. So run through a few more questions. Oh, that's not a question. Sorry. I just wanted to throw that up because he said he liked the video.
Yeah. Well, dude, the fire escape is dope.
I think that was it. Oh, I think Chamba had the same question for 2021 favorite line, but you kind of answered that. So cool. Okay, I thought there was more questions than that.
Hold on, Loki just posted the question. Which crew did you choose at Frankenstein's Toy Amigos or Raid? We took a picture, and like neither of them wanted me. Like I was in the middle, and they were all bored. They were like, "Nah, not interested." That's it. But speaking of the Frankenstein's meetup, my lovely fiance has been working on editing their video that we took some video while we were there. And I'm hoping I have a YouTube channel, but it doesn't have anything on it. I have like favorited stuff, mostly like stuff that I'm on and everything. But I'm gonna be posting that video hopefully sometime in the near future on YouTube. And then we also have I'm forcing her. She's gonna be so mad that I'm saying this in public. But so we'll be posting the Frankenstein's meetup video, and then I want her to put together an outtakes reel as well, because there was some good stuff of like just people talking and outtakes. So I'm very excited for both of these. Hopefully they will be up sometime in the near-ish future.
Nice. There's the exclusive content, Lucky Butter.
There we go. That and hot dogs.
I've always wanted.
Rick is the nicest,
isn't he?
No, it's a shirt. I mean, like awesome. Maybe next time, maybe for the reunion show, that's what I will wear.
Well, the attire for everybody is going to be V-necks for the reunion.
Rock and roll. I think I have a few.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out, asking questions. Adam, most importantly, I appreciate you. I know, this week you've been traveling a lot, coming back from New York. So definitely thank you for coming out, hanging out with me tonight and the crew. Man, yeah, awesome conversation. Love talking about toys. Love, the industry intel that you can provide. And just, I like the fact that we're able to connect in a way like with the molds and stuff, because that's interesting to know, what you were doing behind the scenes, the kind of stuff when I dabble in my little shop doing. That's really cool. And it's cool to hear some of your take on it.
Like when you were on Toy Amigos, that was my favorite part of the conversation too, was talking about like what printers you're using. And it's like
right.
Tool stuff and the behind the scenes. It's great. It's like, and honestly, like Diorama Talk as a whole, what you're doing here, I love this. I'm floored that you even asked me to be on, because I am not a toy photographer. I'm not a diorama maker. I like hanging out and talking to all you guys, and thanks, man. Like, it's cool to be on with all of you guys.
Yeah, dude, it's cool to talk about this stuff, the tools and stuff like that. And that's a part of the show, right? That's a different, Diorama Talk is the name, but it doesn't have to be just dioramas. It's, people who are in the community that, we have a connection with, whether that be the toy collection or like the tools and stuff like that. So it's really cool to be able to have the open conversation and have fun doing it, right? And share it with everybody that's in the live tonight. So yeah, that's the fun part. Definitely.
And I learned something about rice that I can bring to work with me on Monday. So there we go.
I was going to say, I used to use water and it pissed me off because everything would be wet. And I was like, all right, I went into the pantry and I was like, what can rice? I remember using that for a cell phone. It won't be wet. Let me try that.
That's genius. No, it's such a good idea.
But yeah, thanks everybody. Matt, congratulations on that win tonight for answering that question. You were paying attention. That shows somebody was paying attention. And Adam, I will order some more knives, and I will get you some. Just let me know what kind of wiener you want on your, ballpark or
we'll have to find some of the most perfect clip art for wieners. That's what my Google search history is going to be.
All right, guys. Well, Adam, not going nowhere. We'll talk backstage before you head out. But guys, that's going to end the live for tonight. Thank you for coming out, spending your Saturday with us, and we'll catch you next week. Next week, I had talked about being off for my anniversary, but I postponed my anniversary because I have a special artist next week. Vasco Toys will be on next Saturday. This time, this place, that time, next Saturday. And me and my wife will do an anniversary, next year. So,
I'm sure she's thrilled.
I'm just kidding. Our anniversary is the day after, so it's okay. And it's 11 years. It's not a long time, But it's one of those off years. We're going to go to LA. Well, not LA, but Anaheim in November. We'll make up for it there. Spend a week together, Disneyland and Decon. She'll get some of the Decon action. But yeah, that's going to end it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much. See you next week with Vasco Toys. Adam, always appreciate it. Hope to have you back more than just a reunion. And we'll see you next Saturday, guys.